So the first question when we start the game is about to have some menu or buttons or any controls. The controls from input I showed already. Here in the setup we have two things and some settings above like this, which are managing buttons we see. So we have two different parts of the screen. One is a gameplay and the second one is clickable buttons, let's say that way, clickable buttons. So here we have some values and restriction which are not set for now, which displaying us areas that are covered with menus. This struct is responsible for loading given menu if they are active, and it explains how much cover in the size of 64 pixels, like here, and this icon scale. Given menu is covering, so X size, Y size, and it's referencing. So where from the screen it starts and when it ends. It's simply a rectangle. If the menu is minimized, if it is loaded to the screen, and if it is auto-updating and how often. So every menu in the game consists such values, and some of them consist some more, which are mostly scrolls for paging, so or some other referencing. I show how it works in gameplay now. So we are in gameplay now, and by F1 I can access the menu bar. So here I can minimize it, I can drag it, so I can put it wherever on the screen. This is the button, and the area, gray area here, it is what I call this background. So I don't have to draw this background in a given color, but for purpose of prototyping I do this. So I know if something is outside the area. So if I click anywhere here, it is not affecting gameplay. It affects only buttons. So menu is searched if mouse position fit to any button. And outside I can choose some objects if I have correct editor started. So for example, we can choose some menus we seen previously. Keyboard menu, so it's displaying some values, or mouse menu, and anything else. And by using those menu, we can change given parameters. So this is opening the menu of simple gameplay. This is unminimizing it. And here I can, for example, change the controls for my camera. So now I need to use the pad to control the camera. So let's go back to the keyboard. And this is operating something. Yeah, it's executing function. So if I click something, it's executing function. And if I use a right click, it is showing some right click info. For now, I didn't put anything special under the buttons, so it's showing some bullshit. So this is how it works. We go back to the code to explain what is the button and what is the execution of some code. So we are in the setup code, and somewhere here we are creating some templates. Those templates are referred here as the structs that tell us where the menu exists, if it is open or not, and so on. Here are templates. So for example, the template of the menu of the menus, so this I have under button F1, have operator if it is minimized, or else. And if it is minimized, what we've seen is just a small button that we can drag around, and the side of them is a unminimizing button and some old version of dragging. Currently, dragging is not only on the drag button, is also on the menu name button, so title. If it is not minimized, it is loading different values from the, let's go to the script, from the struct. Those structs are quite similar. There are small difference because some menus are utilizing something else. Not on the base, but they have some extra parameters. So size menu is loaded. This one. It is 20 times 64 times given scale of icons for given resolution. So basically we can say by 64 if we using 1080 resolution. And eye size, so it is rectangle. And it is starting the menu in the position of 0.5. Yeah, is it? Yes, it is. And this is somewhere on the right part of the screen. No, this one is on the left. On the left. Otherwise, it is something like this. So screen size divided by icon scales times something -1. So we see it on the screen. Most menus show up on the right side, and then we can drag them. So this value is changed during the drag. And if it is load to the screen, and if it is minimized. So here we are go by the tile size. It is just a common value for all icons. How big is one tile? And from here to there, it is a standard button. So all the menus consist buttons that way. It has a button size, so in this case 32 by 32 pixels. Those are consistent, so where the button, which is rectangle, starts, times size, where it starts by the eye, and where it ends, so plus button size times the size of the tile. Same for eye. So we can in general ignore this part. If buttons have different graphics, they have different size. They don't need to have graphics, but they can still have size. And it will be covering some part of the screen. Later on we have picture, which will be loaded from another script during draw. And picture if mouse is over. If we do that way, so it is the same picture. And it holding a value if mouse is over, operated by another script that is checking if mouse is over. Button text, here we can write something like here. This is title menu. So there is some text used by another script how to draw a text. Left click. What should be done if we left click by mouse? So it's executing some function. Right click. Mostly it is showing those text that exist here. Carry. If we execute some function, what information should be carried to the function that is executed? Info, what it is? Oh, this is text that should be displayed on the right click. Right click is just execute function, and in this case show right click info, and it is going to show us this text. So this is kind of carry just for right click button. And this one is just passing the function all those values we already stated to the array that is holding this many. So many gets another button. So it is how the buttons are created. Xref is X reference that is moving plus the last button size. So if the last button was a size of X, so reference 0 in array, it is moving the next button 2 places on the side. So we have a nice button after button. More use of that. Next line, we are referencing to the last button size. And here we are referencing to the left side of the restricted area, restricted by many. So if the menu covers some rectangle, it is moving back to the left. So carriage return. And all the menus are created in that way. Some of them operate more functions, like for example the biggest one, object editor, which have minimized version standard, so nothing special here. We can expand it. And then it's gathering data about some object we are selecting, what type of objects we are choosing, so if it is static or dynamic. And if such object number exists, it's grabbing information about the object and displaying it on the subsequent pages, so we can switch pages. And we have different pages that are showing us different values of the object. Let's go to the gameplay and see how it works.